Sex can be really great. Why does no one ever talk about this? Hi, welcome to The Basics with Dr. Mo. I'm your host, Dr. Mo. We're talking about talking. Go ahead, say it. I wish it was easier to talk about sex.
I feel like it's a topic often swept under the carpet. We're not as comfortable speaking about it as we should, especially when we think about how naturally it comes.
You don't want your experience to be judged against other experience because it could be different, or you could not be moving at the same pace as anyone else, and sometimes that makes you feel a little incompetent than others. So I think we just tend to hold back a little bit when we talk about it.
But some people get shy, some people get weirded out, they're not as open.
It's always like an awkward conversation no matter who you're speaking to, about it. I have a 12-year-old niece and she asks me questions and I'm like, I don't know, I don't really want to talk to her about it, so it's awkward.
I mean, I try to accommodate them, so maybe I'll talk about it less or, go easy with the topic.
You don't turn 18 and suddenly, magically know everything there is to know about sex, especially if you've never talked about it. What are we waiting for? Let's talk about sex.
It's always been open in my house, so I mean, for me it's not, a crazy taboo subject, so I think it's pretty simple, especially nowadays.
Sex is natural. It's a thing everybody does, and it shouldn't be ever covered or anything like that.
I usually talk about sex freely, but maybe not everyone wants to listen.
I mean, I do with like my close friends, my mom. We have a pretty close relationship.
What if you could talk about sex to anybody at all? Who would it be?
My mother, actually, surprisingly. Maybe some people don't agree, but I think a parent should be able to speak to their child about sex in a completely normal fashion.
Well, just the general public.
I would definitely actually say have problems with my healthcare providers.
Parents, because in my family, it's okay to have it and stuff, but actually talk about it or say like, Mom, I think I have this, can you help me? It's not very common to do in my family, at least.
Maybe if you were comfortable enough and had grown up talking about sex, you could say straight out to your partner, I think we should have sex because I really like you and it could be great.
As a woman, I think if you want sex first, or if you come off as a very sexually, charged woman, you're looked at in a negative way. You can be called a slut, you can be called loose, when it's not the same case for men.
And being in a relationship is not the easiest. It's not the easiest thing. So oftentimes you don't want to hurt the person's feelings. I guess if they're not doing it the way you want them to, or you're not satisfied, so you kind of like keep it in sometimes. So it is a little difficult, so it should be easier. I guess it all depends like how you go about it. You can introduce the subject to your partner, like, hey, I just learned that a woman can orgasm in this way, or a guy can orgasm, without making them feel bad, you know what I mean? Like, just kind of giving them hints.
What a wonderful world we could live in if we actually talked about sex, not just when we're having sex, but at any time in the most natural way. You've already started the conversation. Let's keep it going. As always, I want to give a huge thank you to all of the women who share their stories. We couldn't do this without you. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, and share The Basics with Dr. Mo, because you deserve to know. Thanks for watching.
Okay, sex. Good?